This is the Louie T Network.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report Live. All right. We got a lot of business to attend to, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not happy. Not really happy with what I've seen from afar with our organization this offseason. Now, I will tell you, we are in a great position to spend some money and get better. And I have never, and I mean never, been this excited about a free agency crop like I am this season, because offensively, I think we're right where we need to be. Whether Kirk gets the long-term deal or not is irrelevant, because I don't see us trading him. As much as I think the organization would like to trade him if they can't work out a long-term deal, I don't see a team forking over what it's going to take to get us to unload Kirk Cousins. And so I don't see Kirk playing anywhere else but DC in 2017. That being said, will he play in DC past 2017? That's another discussion for a little bit later on in this program, but I will say this. We are in a position right now to go out and get better as a football team because of the way free agency is set up right now. Now, some guys are looking to get paid, and that's what free agency is all about, and I'm all about that. And having Kirk Cousins making $24 million next year isn't conducive to spending the type of money that I want to spend to get better. That being said, this is why you needed to work out a long-term deal with him last year, but we're not going to do that tonight because that's dead and gone. We didn't do what we were supposed to do when we were supposed to do it. Now we're in a position where we have a gun to our head. And again, like I said, Kirk Cousins has his finger on the trigger. If he decides to pull the trigger and blow our brains out, so be it. But we've put ourselves in this position. I'm not mad at Kirk for going out and doing what he's supposed to do. I'm not mad at his agent for trying to get every single red cent he can get out of the Washington Redskins organization. It's a business at the end of the day, and the Redskins simply dropped the ball, and Kirk Cousins and his agent was right there to pick that football up. And now they're running with it, and the Redskins simply cannot catch up. That number that they're asking for is too high for the Redskins to meet their demands, at least in the Redskins front office and their brass's mind. Let's talk about this Kirk Cousins situation, because I've got a lot to discuss, and my feelings and sentiments are this. One, Kirk Cousins does not want to play for the Washington Redskins. Now, that could change one of two ways. One, the Redskins don't trade him this offseason. Let's just go with the assumption that he plays under the franchise tag, which he is more. Did you see the tweet? He's more than happy to play for $24 million after you just finished paying him $20 last year. So if my math is correct, and again, I'm no math major, okay? But 20 plus 24 is $44 million. For a guy that didn't make $4 million in his first 3 years combined, you're giving this man $44 million. You think he's not going to take $24 million? Now, again, let's be real with ourselves. After Uncle Sam reaches his hand in the cookie jar and takes what's his, it's not $44 million anymore. But still, let's just cut it in half. Let's cut the 20 he got last year in half. That's 10. Let's cut the 24 he's going to get this year. That's another 12. $22 million in just 2 years without signing a long-term deal. Are you kidding me? Who wouldn't sign up for that? So, Kirk is more than happy to play under the franchise tag. More than happy to. Now, that being said, I don't think he wants to play in Washington anymore. The amount of disrespect Kirk Cousins has faced since being a Washington Redskins player. It's not measurable. Okay? Remember, he was drafted as the other guy. He was never supposed to be the guy in DC. He was supposed to be a guy in DC. The backup. You know what I equate Kirk Cousins' situation to? He's like a middle child. No, not a stepson. He's our own. He's a middle child. The first was a son. Okay, so you got the boy out of the way, right? Then he was born. And then all they wanted was a girl, so they tried one more time, and they had a girl. So think about this. The first child is the first, so there's always an extra affinity for that first child because it's your first, right? Then you're a boy, so it's two boys. You're the middle child. Then they have the girl that they always wanted, and she happens to be the youngest. So she's spoiled rotten. The first one is entitled because, hey, he was the first child, and you're just stuck in the middle. So it's like the Redskins told Kirk Cousins, and by the way, Kirk Cousins never felt totally loved, like that middle child. They don't love me as much as the oldest or the youngest. They told Kirk Cousins, Redskins said, and this is what Scott McLuhan did last offseason, you go out and prove it to us. You go out and handle yours. You take care of us. With Scott McLuhan's exact words, you take care of us, we'll take care of you. Sort of like the middle child being promised, hey, when you turn 16, I'm going to get you a car of your own. Middle child turns 16, no car. You know what he says? The minute I get a chance to move out, when I turn 18, I'm getting the hell out of here. And I'm not looking back. Kirk Cousins is like, when I hit free agency, I'm getting the hell out of here, and I'm not looking back. Dan Snyder treated him like shit when Robert Griffin III was here. Remember when we won in Cleveland, when Kirk went out and had himself a masterful football game on the road in a game that we had to win against Cleveland? Didn't even go and acknowledge Kirk's performance, went straight over to Robert Griffin III. To hell with Kirk Cousins. Ignored him. He didn't forget that. The rumors and all of the grumblings in season about Kirk Cousins not being the guy. He knew that was Scott McLuhan. You know how he knew? Because he knew he could trace the rumors and where this stuff was coming from and who the leak was. And more importantly, the source that was spreading the news. Who's he a close friend of? Scotty Mack. So when you saw that emotion after the Green Bay game, how you like me now? That wasn't a coincidence. That wasn't a fluke. That was Kirk saying, how do you like me now? You didn't think I could do this. How do you like me now? The only way they can prove that they really love Kirk Cousins, which is what he wants. He wants unconditional love, just like that middle child. Wants unconditional love. Hasn't gotten it. The only way the Redskins can prove that they, without a shadow of a doubt, love Kirk Cousins is to slide him a check across the desk and say, put a number in there, man. Go ahead, put the number in there. And if the number makes enough sense, we'll sign the check. Dan will sign the check right now. Put the number in there. And if Kirk and his agent, they discuss and they deliberate, and then Kirk puts that number in there, and that number is $120 million. 5 years. Not 6. 5 years. $120 million. 80. Not 60, not 80 of it. Guaranteed. Are the Redskins willing to do that? Probably not. I've heard that the Redskins' first offer, 5 years, $100 million. You're 20 short, bruh. 20 short. And I heard And I can't confirm nor deny this, but I heard that the guaranteed money was a lowball offer, probably around $40 million. Him and Mike McCartney, his agent, are laughing at that. I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you now. You told me I was ugly. I was scared to crack a smile. Ha, 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 ha. I'm laughing at you. They're laughing at that. $40 million? Do you understand that I just made $44 million guaranteed the last 2 seasons after you cut me this check for this franchise tag? Why the hell would I settle for $40 million guaranteed? Are you stupid or just slow? That's like Birdman saying, are we finished or are we done? Which one is it? There's no way Kirk Cousins is signing a deal for 40 guaranteed, 50, even 60 guaranteed doesn't make sense to that man. He's trying to rape the Redskins, and I don't blame him. Because when you could have got this man on the cheap, when he was back on the clearance rack, and you had a chance to buy it, you were being cheap. You said, nope, I'm going to wait for the price to drop even lower on this item. Problem was, the price for this item was only going to go up. This was a Black Friday sale. You had a chance to buy. You refused to do so. Now it's regular price. This is the going rate for a quarterback in this league. The Bears had to do it with Jay Cutler. The 49ers had to do it with Colin Kaepernick. This is what you got to do. You don't want to do it? Okay, fine. Go back into quarterback purgatory where we came from. It took us over 20 years to find this one guy. And you don't appreciate him. And that's how he feels. So in his mind, he's looking at L.A., he's looking at San Francisco. He's saying, man, there are some opportunities out here for guys that I know believe in me. Jay Gruden believes in him. But Jay Gruden's not the one cutting the check. If Jay Gruden had his way, Kirk Cousins would be signed to a long-term contract on the dotted line right now. But it's not his call. And so right now, the funny thing is that the only way Kirk Cousins comes back, because I just don't see Bruce Allen, I don't see Scott McCloughan giving in to the demands of Mike McCartney and Kirk Cousins. I just don't see it happening. I don't see the two getting on the same page, because what Kirk Cousins and his agent has right now is the most power and leverage that any player in NFL history has ever had. Ever. No quarterback has ever been franchised 2 years in a row. Ever. This is unprecedented, uncharted territory. They have all, A-L-L, all of the leverage. All of it. Redskins have zero. None. So, in my mind, I look at this situation and I say, there's no reason for Kirk Cousins to sign a long-term deal unless the Redskins absolutely blow him away. And they're not going to do that. I don't think so. So then the only other way, and I told you there were 2 reasons, or 2 ways he could come back. So that would be one. The only other way he'd come back is if the Redskins either get close to winning a Super Bowl, like I'm literally talking NFC Championship game, or the Redskins do win it, Joe Flacco style, last year in Baltimore before he got the monster deal. That's the only way he comes back, because if he wins the Super Bowl, then the Redskins are going to be like, oh, we got to pay this man whatever the hell he wants, sort of like the Ravens did with Joe Flacco. They didn't want to pay Joe Flacco that kind of money. Did you see how many guys they had to release and how many years it hurt them for thereafter because of the money they gave Joe Flacco? But they didn't have a choice. Joe Flacco just went out and won them a Super Bowl and had a run in the playoffs, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. They had to pay the man. They had a gun to their head. And they knew if they did not pay him, Joe Flacco would pull the trigger, blow their brains out. We're in the same spot. If the Redskins don't win next year and they don't feel Kirk Cousins is worth the money, he's gone. I don't see the Redskins getting the type of deal that it's going to take to pull the trigger and trade him away. They're going to want, at minimum, and I don't blame them, at least one first-round pick, possibly two. I heard that they want an RG3 type trade. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. The only difference here, though, is you're getting a known commodity. You're getting a guy that almost threw for 5,000 yards last year. You're getting a known commodity in this league, a guy that you know can play. But still, it's a lot to give up. So I don't see him being traded. I just don't. Now, let's talk about this exclusive. Remember, I talked about this 3 months ago. I said, you know what's going to be really telling as to whether the Redskins really want him back or not is if they sign him to an exclusive franchise tag or a non-exclusive franchise tag. Now, had the Redskins put Kirk Cousins on a non-exclusive franchise tag, that would have said one of two things to me. That would have said, all right, look, you can go out and test the market, see what you're worth, and we don't want you back. Those would have been the two things I would have gotten from that. Go ahead, test the market, see what you're worth, and if we want to match it, we will, but we don't really care. Go ahead, see what you can find. The exclusive tag says to me, hey, we'd like a deal. We want to work out a deal with you. We really want you to stay here. But in the event that you don't, we want something back, just in case. Gotta cover our asses on our end. But what the exclusive tag does say to me is that the Redskins do want him back. Okay, they can sit here and play hardball and act as if, oh well, yeah. No, they want him back because if they didn't care, just like the Steelers with Le'Veon Bell, if they didn't care, you wouldn't put an exclusive. You would put a non-exclusive. Because you would then dangle him out there and dare somebody to come and get him. Go ahead. Give me some compensation. But nah, that's not what you're doing. The Steelers don't want to lose Le'Veon Bell, so they put the exclusive. No, you can't sign my man to an offer sheet and then ask me to match. No. I'm going to negotiate with my guy first. So they want him back. I just think Kirk doesn't want to be back. I think it's as simple as we've shitted on Kirk Cousins too many times, right? It was understandable the first time. Hey, you're Kirk Cousins. We don't know if you should start or not. Everyone had to bang on the table for him. Okay, Jay Gruden had to bang on the table. Scott McCloughan had to bang on the table just to get him in there over Robert Griffin III. Okay, he went out and he played okay. Wasn't great. Did he deserve a contract then? Maybe, maybe not. But then when you said, hey, go do it again, and he did it again, broke franchise records, took the Redskins to the playoffs, won the division, paid a man. Paid a man. Nah, want to see it again. Not sure. Okay, you asked for it. 4,900 yards. Now, I will tell you this. Love Kirk Cousins. Want him to be the quarterback in D.C. for a long time. Kirk's got some bitch in him. That's real. Love Kirk Cousins to death. Want him here. Kirk's got some bitch in him. Saw it against Carolina last year. We saw it against the Giants last year. Final game of the season. Kirk's got some bitch in him. We know this. I still want him in D.C. Still want him in D.C. Still want him in Burgundy and Gold. With the game on the line, is Kirk going to perform or is he going to choke? I don't know. I know he has some bitch in him, though. I heard the sound effects when he threw a pick. And he blamed it on the receiver. Told Jay Gruden, that was a perfect throw. If he didn't fall down, it was a perfect throw. I made the right read. He's got some bitch in him. I don't care. I want him back. He's ours. For too long, we've let homegrown product walk the streets. We groom them up nice and right. Get them all nice and neat. Trim them up. Ship them out. Did it with Ryan Clark. I'll never forgive the Redskins for that. Did it with Antonio Pierce. I'll never forgive the Redskins for that. We do it all the time. Watch our own walk right out the door. Play some stellar football for somebody else. Did it with Trent Green. I can go on and on and on. Bottom line is this. I don't think Kirk Cousins wants to be here anymore. We treated him like shit. We didn't believe in him. And the numbers, they don't lie. The numbers that they keep sliding across the table to his agent continues to be a slap in the face. You don't respect me? I just want to go somewhere where I am respected. And it's been that way for Kirk Cousins since day one. He didn't want to come here after we drafted Robert Griffin III. We drafted him anyway. He should have been playing a lot sooner when Robert was struggling. We didn't play him anyway. When he did get an opportunity to play, he was never given the keys to the car until Scott McCloughan got here. And when he was given the keys to the car, he played well enough to get a contract, and the Redskins refused to give him one of any merit. What can you say? I can't blame Kirk Cousins for feeling the way that he does. Bottom line is, I don't think he wants to be here. And unless something happens in a major way, whether the Redskins finally wake up and say, you know what, we just got to pay the man. Got to give him what he wants. Or the Redskins damn near win the Super Bowl or win it, Kirk Cousins will not be the Redskins quarterback past 2017. Sad state of affairs, but that's where we are. Let's move on to the next topic of discussion. We got a dilemma on our hands. We've been talking about this as Redskins fans all season long. And I know some fans are like, hey, look, just enjoy the season. We don't have to talk about it now. It's not here. Well, now it's here. We're at the bridge, and we got to cross that bridge now. It's always easy to put things off. As human beings, we love to do this. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Well, what happens when the goddamn bridge is right in front of you and you got to get to the other side? Guess what you got to do? You got to cross the goddamn bridge. Well, we're at that bridge right now. Pierre Garçon, Deshaun Jackson. We said, look, we probably won't have both of them back. And I pretty much told you from the start of training camp last year, D-Jax is gone. And as the season progressed and he started talking more and more about Philadelphia and, oh, they didn't boo me this time. He wants to go back. That's fine. Let him carry his ass. But I said the whole time, and a lot of you echoed these same sentiments. Gotta have Pierre, though. Okay? Can't let both of them walk. Gotta have one of them. Gotta have Pierre, though. What the hell are we waiting on? I think I know the answer to this, though. This one seems a little bit more clear-cut than the Kirk Cousins situation. With Pierre, and Pierre has already made it known, look, man, I'm just waiting on a phone call. You know, I haven't heard from the Redskins yet. I'm waiting. I'd love to come back. Got a couple of pizza joints. Spinfire Pizza up in D.C. You know, I'm doing charitable work up there. I like where I'm living. I like being in D.C. Where's the phone call, guys? Ring, ring, ring. I'm ready to pick up. Talk some numbers. What's going on? The first time we signed Pierre Garçon, we overpaid for him. We didn't have a choice, though. He was on the market. We wanted him. We needed him. We got him. 5 years ago. $42 million for a guy that was playing with Peyton Manning, but you didn't know if he was that guy or not. Now, I think it was money well spent. At the time, a lot of people say we overpaid for him. I think after the deal was up, I think it was money well spent. He's been phenomenal for us. The first couple of years when Shanahan was here, he was ridiculous. Okay? 1 year, the first year, he was injured half of the damn year, still went over 1,000 yards. The next year, it was ridiculous. We had nothing but Pierre Garçon. Nothing. Guy had like 100 and some odd catches. He was the only guy on the team that was worth a damn, And he was going out and balling. Then Robert showed up. Robert lit it up. That was the first year with Pierre, by the way. And he was hurt half of the year, and he still lit it up. Then in 2013, where we had nothing. Robert was banged up. We had nothing. Pierre was the man. So Pierre has been worth the price of admission. But I think the Redskins felt like they slightly overpaid then, which was fine. They were willing to do it then. But now Pierre's up there in age. When you overpay for a guy on that second contract, when they're coming off that rookie deal, you're not as apprehensive to sign them then. But when they're coming off that second contract going into that third one, you're like, you're not the same guy anymore. And the market for Pierre Garçon might be a little lucrative because he can still play at a very high level. And he does everything you want a receiver to do in this league. He catches, goes over the middle, he blocks, tough as nails, can be a vocal leader if you need him to be. It's not much to dislike about Pierre Garçon, which is the reason we want him back in D.C. But I think it's going to cost you some money. And I think the Redskins want to see just how lucrative a market there is for Pierre Garçon. The problem that you run into when you play this game of Russian roulette is what happens when somebody pulls your card and calls your bluff. There's no blanks in this gun, okay? There's one bullet in there. And when they shut that damn chamber and they spin it and they hand you the gun, you willing to pull that trigger and find out if that bullet's in that chamber or not? They didn't already close the barrel. They spun it, closed it, handed you the gun. If Pierre Garçon gets to free agency and you let him test the market, you don't sit here for 1 second and think that there isn't a receiver-starving team out there that wouldn't be willing to pay this man a 3-year, $33 million deal. $11 million per year. Don't think it's not a team out there that won't give this man a 3-year, $31 million deal. Talking about $10.3 million a year. Don't sell this man's market short. Thinking, we'll let Pierre go out there, test the market, see what's out there, and then he'll come back to us. Don't fool your damn self. Because D-Jax gone. The minute free agency starts, his ass is gone. He's not coming back. I'm cool with that. So are the rest of these Redskins fans. We're cool with it. We already knew when the season started that he was gone. This was it. This is it. We knew that. We were cool with that. But the guy that wasn't supposed to get away was Pierre Garçon. Now, I don't think he's gone yet. I think we got a shot at getting him back. I just think we're making it really hard on ourselves. Part of it is, hey, Kirk's holding up $24 million. We still got money. But it'd be real nice if Kirk signed that long-term deal and we could spread that money out, not give him $24 million in 1 year. But look, the Redskins did this to themselves. We did this to ourselves. Who are you going to be mad at? Don't be mad at Kirk or his agent. Don't be mad at Pierre or Deshaun. Don't be mad at Chris Baker and all. The object of the game as a player is to get paid. It's the name of the game. Always has been, always will be. You want to take less to go play for the Patriots, knock yourself out. But I know the Patriots wouldn't hesitate to cut my ass. The Redskins won't hesitate to cut my ass. When I can't produce at the level that they think I need to, they won't hesitate to part ways with me. And I don't get to pass go. I don't get to collect $200. The game's over when they say it's over. So you better go get that bread while it's out there to be got. So If Pierre Garçon is able to hit the market and get more than the Redskins are willing to pay him, he's gone. Then who are we relying on? Josh Doctson? Is the doc in or not? I need to know. Heard he's rehabbing well, but is the doc actually in? Can I see him? I don't know. You think JC Ice is ready for that star role? I like him. I love him. But is he ready for the show, though? It's easy to eat when you're the third, fourth option on the squad. What happens when you become number one, number two? I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I know we still got Jay Reed. Jay Reed! But all this stuff works better when you've got multiple options. Nobody had more options than we did. CT out in the backfield, Jordan Reed, JC Ice, D-Jax, PG88. The list goes on and on. And we had options for days. I didn't even mention VD. He's also a free agent who needs to be back in DC. Had a really good year. Speaking of which, let's segue into free agency, shall we? Because I told you at the top of this program that this is the most excited I've ever been for free agency. And I really don't give a damn about free agency. The Redskins made me hate free agency years ago because we would do this so poorly. But since Bruce Allen's come on board, been very pleased with what the Redskins have done in free agency. Now, I'm not talking about from actually going out and getting good football player standpoint. No, we haven't done that well at all. I'm just talking about not overpaying for the stuff that we get. Okay? It's okay to make a mistake with a Stephen Paya when you don't overpay for him. Okay? It's okay to go out and get a Jaron Johnson and make a mistake when you don't overpay for him. It's okay to make a mistake with another safety and say, hey, my bad, made a mistake. Like we did with David Bruton Jr. last year. It happens. Just don't overpay for these mistakes. Haven't done that. Cool. Sean Laval. Hasn't worked out great. Yeah, we paid him a little extra coin, but guess what? We didn't overdo it. You're not killing yourself. So in that regard, I feel great. Andre Roberts, didn't work out. Cool. Didn't overpay for him though. But now I'm like, hey, look, man, there's some elite stuff. All that stuff I just mentioned, that was back of the store, orange, pink tag, clearance rack items. The shit nobody else wanted, that you go all the way in the back and you say, hey, man, this is not a bad shirt. Yeah, it was a hell of a shirt 3 years ago. Now, that's why it's on the clearance rack. I want that shit that's up front. The stuff you actually got to go day one, first rack, front of the store, you got to pay premium top dollar for. We got a chance to get that kind of stuff, bring them to DC. The Patriots just said no to their star linebacker. Nope, we're not franchise tagging. Donta Hightower is right there. Donta Hightower. We've been crying for an inside linebacker with some speed, athleticism, and the ability to change the game. There he is, right there. Inside linebackers don't cost you a ton. Pay the man. Go get him. He's there. That's one less need we have to worry about in the draft. Go get him. He's coming off of his second Super Bowl ring. And oh, by the way, it's his rookie contract. Go get that man and pay that man. You want some defensive line help? We've been crying. Oh, we need help on the D-line. Chris Baker's about to go. We can upgrade. Let me upgrade you. We can upgrade. Calais Campbell, look, I know that's some old beef. And I told you before, I don't like my beef well done on the defensive line. But damn it, Calais Campbell isn't any old beef. I sign up for it. But you want some younger beef? Because there's some younger beef out there, some younger stuff. Dontari Poe is a free agent. The Chiefs said nope. No to Poe. I'll sign up for some Dontari Poe. That's a rookie deal that's expiring. More fresh beef. You want some more fresh beef? Some cheaper beef? Brandon Williams of the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens said, hey, young fella, go ahead, test free agency. Hey, I'll sign up for some of that. You want to stop the run? You got to pay to stop the run. The Giants did it last year. Look what happened for them. There's stuff out here to be had, man. You just got to pay. Tony Jefferson, Arizona Cardinals safety. Look, man, we got options. It's stuff out there to be had. You just got to spend the money to go get it. And I know we're not going to get all these dudes. A.J. Boye, Texans corner. Boy, he's looking real ripe to me. I know we don't need to spend any more money on the cornerback position. I get it. But there's stuff out there, man. Stuff out there. Stephon Gilmore. Look, that's too rich for our blood. I understand. But I'm just telling you. I haven't seen a free agency crop this rich in quite some time. And it's all the positions that we need. We need a linebacker. Donta Hightower is sitting there saying, hey, man, pick me. Pick me. Pay me. But pick me. D-line help. We can go get two of them boys. Fix it right now. They ain't getting no pressure on the quarterback. That's fine. They're going to stop that damn run, though. We can find somebody in the draft. I'm not worried about goddamn Junior Gillette no more. I've given up. That ship has sailed. If we get anything out of him, it's extra added value at this point. But I'm expecting him to tear his Achilles at some point before training camp even starts. So I'm not even worried about that guy. Doesn't matter. Bottom line, it's stuff. What I'm trying to tell you, stuff out there. You want to fix the guard position? Kevin Zeitler is out there. Cincinnati Bengals guard. Jay Gruden knows him. He was with him in Cincinnati. Go get him. Money. We got it. Go spend it. You want to spend a little less on defensive line help? Alan Branch, coming from the Super Bowl defending champions. A lot older. I told you I don't like my beef well done, but hey, still beef that works nonetheless. I'm just saying there are options to be had on the free agent market. You want to fix this defense? There's your ticket. We got options. I'm excited. I'm talking dudes. Normally, you don't get dudes coming off their rookie contract of note that you can pay and say, hey, look, man, we could have this. Do you understand that we could have a guy come in and be 5 times better than London Fletcher was for us? Remember, we got London Fletcher on like his 4th contract. The man was a Ram. The man was a Buffalo Bill. I might be missing a team in there, and then we got him. Either way, he was either on his 3rd or his 4th contract when we got to him. We got a chance to get Donta Hightower on his 2nd contract. That's unheard of in this day and age in the National Football League. Same with Dontari Poe. Talking about some young boys in their prime. I don't know if Poe will ever be the guy that he was early in his career in terms of getting to the quarterback. I'm not asking him to be that. I'm asking for this dude to come in and stop the run. Brandon Williams, 2nd contract, man. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? We can fix this. We can fix it now. Tony Jefferson, 2nd contract. Do you understand how important the safety position is in this league? Could you imagine getting Sua Cravens at safety, adding Tony Jefferson? All of a sudden, the secondary is fixed. Just like that. Amazing. you can focus your draft on fixing the front seven. All because you made one signing in the secondary. Wow. We got to do some things, man. I expect us to be aggressive because the actual players that can help us turn this thing around are sitting right there. Calais Campbell, Dontari Poe, Brandon Williams, Tony Jefferson, Alan Branch. They're out there. They're out there. We just got to go get them. I hope the Redskins are aggressive. In any event, let's see what you guys got to say, man. I've been talking, running my mouth, man. I'm just excited. Let's see what we got going on, man. Let's see what you guys got to say. All right. Redskin Fan 21 says, what are your thoughts in the front office situation? Is it true? Also, would free agents be attracted to DC knowing this organization is in a dysfunctional state right now? Now, I don't actually know exactly what you're talking about, but I do know Scott McCloughan is not at the Combine. You know the first thing I thought about, and I don't know if there are any rumors out there swirling around or not. You guys can elaborate on this. First thing I'm thinking about when they tell me he's handling personal family matters, his ass is hitting the bottle again. Now, I hope I'm wrong, man. That's an ignorant way to think. Just because the man was once an alcoholic doesn't mean he's still an alcoholic. But this just seems weird. The most important time of the year for a general manager and his scout, and they're not at the Combine? Little fishy, okay? But he was down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl, so it's not like he's been out of sorts very long. I don't know, but this just seems weird. I hope it's nothing serious. I hope it's just something that he's got to handle back. Maybe the wife is tripping or something. I don't know. She's been known to do that from time to time. Bottom line is, I hope everything's fine. It's just a little disconcerting when it's at this time of the year. This is too important a time to have anything going on. And so when you tell me it's a personal family matter, you know what I'm thinking. I'm just saying. Look, players don't give a damn about any of that extra stuff. All they care about is that green. Like, some guys want to win. Some guys are like, hey, look, in the case of Donta Hightower, guess what? That man has already won 2 Super Bowl rings. Not 1, 2 of those things. You think he gives a damn about winning right now? Look, he still wants to win. Don't get it twisted. But you know what he's really trying to do? What he's really after? Is that dirty green cream right now. I want that in my life. He wants the insurance of knowing if I tear my ACL tomorrow, that I and my family will be fine. A-okay. And that's a very comforting feeling, knowing that no matter what happens, we straight. That's what he's after. That's what most players in this league is after. Security. You get that by getting paid. You get that by getting a long-term deal. That's why players don't like the franchise tag, because there's no long-term incentive with the franchise tag. Unless you're a quarterback and you're getting 20 or 24 million, man, that changes things. But when you're a running back and you get franchised and you're only going to make $6 million, yo, what the f- is that about? If you're a safety and you get franchised and you're only going to make $8 million, I know this sounds ridiculous to us common folk, $8 million, but let's be honest, a buck doesn't stretch as far as it used to. So, no, it doesn't really matter how dysfunctional our organization may appear to be from the outside looking in. If we spending that cream, those guys will sign on the dotted line. Trust and believe. Redskin Fan 21 says, would it be smart for the Skins to trade back a few picks and get a couple more picks in the draft and still stay in the first round with D-Jax and Garcon come back knowing Kirk is back. I think D-Jax and Garcon wouldn't have a problem playing with Kirk. The Redskins just would have to show them some love. Bottom line is, the Redskins have shown the propensity to trade back. We've done it before. We did last year, even though it was only one pick. If Scott McCloughan gets an offer that he likes, and he's still going to get a player that he feels is in his wheelhouse, and I don't have a problem with him trading back. You know, again, this year more, a little bit less than last year. I think you're more in a position to get what we need, being that we're a little bit more up because we didn't make the postseason this year. I think the Redskins are more likely to stand pat, especially if one of the defensive players that they're targeting, or any player for that matter, maybe it's a running back that they're looking at, whomever. If that guy is there at 17, you pull the trigger. If you're not in love with the guys that are there and there's an offer on the table, you take it. So we'll see what happens. I'm not opposed to either one. I'm open-minded during this process. Not like we got a top 5 pick. And you're like, hey, take the blue chip or don't trade out of the pick. We're in a situation where maybe a guy's on the board that you love, maybe a guy isn't. So we'll see what happens. What's going on, BFG? Redskin Review says, give Kirk a long-term deal with performance bonuses with as little guaranteed as we can. If not, oh well, we need him. Pay the man. He's not taking anything less than what he is after. Look, he doesn't have to settle for anything. It's the whole gist of this conversation, is that Kirk Cousins is in a position of power that no other player in NFL history has ever been in a position of. Okay? This man can call his own shot at this point. That's why he was so anxious to get the franchise tag. Like, look, man, unless you guys are going to blow me away with a $130 million deal over 5 years, in which 80 of it is guaranteed, what are we talking about here? Why are we having this discussion? There's nothing to talk about. I want my money. You had a chance to get me for $40 million guaranteed last year. For 50 last year, for 40, I would have took 40 or 45 last year, Kirk told those boys. 5-year, $100 million deal, 40 of it guaranteed. Kirk would have signed his name on the dotted line last year. Do you know how much of a discount that would have been as opposed to this year? I just told you that man doubled the amount he's asking for in guaranteed money. 80, I want 80 million now. I want 80 now. You had a chance to get him for 40. You blew it. So, Kirk's not settling for anything. So we're going to see what happens. BE says, what's good, everyone? What's going on, BE? Tomo says, trade Kirk if you don't want him. Well, we want him. I just don't think Kirk wants to be here unless we're going to blow him away with an offer. Boba Sis, my man Bo, what's going on, Bo, says, we'll end up getting the deal done. Love the big pun reference, by the way. LOL. I'm glad you got that, man. Not a lot of cats got that. I hope you're right. Because my confidence, remember, I used to be the one telling everybody, don't worry about it. We'll get the deal done, man. Stop. I'm not singing that tune anymore, man. It's not all peaches and cream anymore, man. Everything is not A-OK in Redskins land. It's real, man. It's real out there in the field. Kirk wants his money, man. He ain't playing. Your boss says, I'm not a Redskins fan, but I feel you, bro. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Tomo says, if you pay him $44 million for 2 years, he can make that for 4 more years. You can't, see, this is the thing. This is how people look at this. So, Kirk's, the beginning starting number for Kirk Cousins in terms of guaranteed money. This is how an agent looks at it. They're going to combine last year's guaranteed money, this year's guaranteed money, and the money you would have to guarantee him on a franchise tag next year, which would be $33 million. So if you put those numbers together, 20 plus 24, that's 44. And again, I'm not a math major, but I do know how to add and subtract. Plus an additional 33 is $77 million. So that's what his agent is starting with. Look, you want Kirk, you want my agent, you want my client to sign on the dotted line. Don't even talk to me unless the first offer, guaranteed money, $77 million. And I can tell you right now, the Redskins aren't starting off for $77 million. Guaranteed money. It's not happening. Captain Spartan 04 says, when can players just realize how much money they're making and just be humble? Like $20 million is the max they make. But this isn't basketball. This isn't. Do you understand how much more at-risk football players are than basketball players, than baseball players? Their contracts are fully guaranteed. You got guys out there playing basketball making $84 million. Guaranteed money. They are going to see every penny of that $84 million. Now, of course, Uncle Sam, and depending on where you play, you may not have to pay state tax. Tax-free money, depending on where you are. These guys are making baseball players. Just because you left-handed and can stroke it at 97 miles an hour, you, my friend, can get paid $118 million over the next 7 years. All of it is yours. But when it comes to football, and I get it, the rosters in baseball and basketball, much more smaller, much more condensed. You're not paying as many players, so I get it. I understand. And the risk involved in football, much greater than basketball or baseball. I get it. But that's why when people make statements like that, I can't be on board. Because these guys are going out and putting their bodies on the line, okay? They're taking pills and they're taking things to try to stem the tide of the pain that they're feeling throughout the season because they need to suit up. It's not an easy existence. It's not an easy profession. And they know what they're signing up for. But again, the name of the game is to get, look, these owners are making money hand over fist. If I'm a player, I'm not taking less for nobody. And Kirk already said it would be a disservice to the rest of the players in the union if I took less. And he's right. He's right. I don't think he gives a damn about the union, to be honest with you. It's more about me and my family because he has a chance. This is not life-changing money. This is generational changing money. It's not going to just change Kirk Cousins and his wife's life and his son's life and his daughter's life. It's going to change his daughter's son's life. It's generational money we talking about here. Caps ain't going to have to work for the rest of their life after their life. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to change the game for the Kirk Cousins namesake. Lionfire says, so is Scott really an overblown scout and Bruce Allen is actually running the show like everyone says? It sure feels like it. So remember, Bruce is our owner, Dan Snyder's right-hand man. So Bruce is in control of the money, along with Eric Schaefer, okay? So any contracts that are going down, you got to run it past Bruce and Eric. Eric makes those numbers dance. Bruce is very good with the numbers as well. Bruce is a politician, so he can talk that talk. Scott is really just a scout. Yeah, he's a bona fide scout, legit talent evaluator, okay? So when you're talking money, they're all having input. Bruce, Scott, even Jay gets a little input. But the final decision on how much money is being spent is coming from Dan, Eric, and Bruce, not Scott. Now, Scott has heavy input on what he thinks they should spend because what they ultimately spend then affects what he can go out and do as a general manager in terms of players that he can bring in. So it's all intertangled and intermingled and interweaved with one another. One hand wipes the other, which washes the other. They all have to work together. So that's for whatever it's worth. Boba says, talking about getting caught between a rock and a hard place, if you're the Skins front office, except they bought this onto themselves, shaking my head. Yeah, that's why I can't feel bad for us, because we did this to ourselves. we did this to ourselves. So can't really be mad. If they would have signed the deal last year like they were supposed to, like all of us was telling them to do, we wouldn't be in this predicament right now. So Boba says tenuous times are ahead. I wish you were wrong, but I think you're right, man. I really do. As a Redskins fan, I don't like where this is heading, because even if we fix the defense, our offense could be garbage again in just a matter of a year from now. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to get a quarterback this year in the draft? Is that what we're going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to turn to Nate Sudfeld? Huh? What are we going to do? Put Colt McCoy in the game? That's right. Get him, Colt. Captain Spartan 04 says, I kind of hope us Steelers get Kirk Cousins. Would be so perfect. You're not getting Kirk Cousins. Give up that pipe dream. You still got Ben Roethlisberger. He's not retiring yet anyway. So, and Kirk isn't going anywhere where there's a quarterback already there established. Lionfire says, D-Jax should go to Cali, to a Cali team. His kid, wife, house are there. Makes more sense than anything else, but I guess money is king. I always thought he would go to like Oakland. At first, when we first had the opportunity to get him, San Francisco was in a run, and I thought he was going to San Fran, but he wanted the opportunity to face the Eagles twice a year and to get back at them, and so he came to us. But I mean, that's home for him. We'll see what he decides to do. I think he's going back to Philly, honestly, so we'll see. Boba says, it just goes to show that this team can't handle prosperity and don't know how to navigate through the uncharted waters. That's a great point, Bo, because part of the reason they botched the Kirk Cousins situation so poorly and badly is because they've never been here before. Bruce has never had a franchise quarterback and never dealt with one when he was in Oakland or Tampa, unless you count Rich Gannon. And Rich Gannon was like 37 when he got his hands on him. Okay, so he never had to really pay a franchise quarterback. Same can be said for Scott McCloughan. You look at San Francisco, they had Alex Smith. He was on a rookie deal, and Alex Smith was Alex Smith. He goes to Seattle, Russell Wilson, rookie deal. He never had to pay. His philosophy, and this is why I think he was opposed to really paying Kirk, has always been build the team, build a team around the quarterback position, build a cocoon around that position. You build it up with defense, and you get all the other pieces in place, and then you just find a guy. You just find a guy. Well, it's not easy to just find a guy. And we have a guy. But Scott McCloughan's never had a guy. So he doesn't know how to deal with this. Dan's never had a guy. So he doesn't know how to deal with this. None of them have ever had to pay a quarterback market value before. So they don't know what this is like. This is uncharted territory. It's uncharted waters, just like Bo just said. And because it is, you run into problems like this, where everybody's got their hand on their purse, and they're like, hey, it's a lot of money you asking for there, partner. But that's the going rate. Take your hand off the checkbook, open it up, and stroke a check. You're not willing to do that, though. Redskins Review says, we gave a corner $75 million and we're trying to skimp the quarterback position. I don't know what else to say. It doesn't make sense. That's part of Scott McCloughan's ideology. Build the defense. He had Richard Sherman in Seattle. They had Clement, and they had all kinds of guys in San Francisco. They had defensive players that could get it done. He doesn't mind playing defensive players because he feels like they're going to win you the game. The quarterback can just manage things, and we can still win at that position. That's his thought process. If I don't overpay for the quarterback, that allows me to spend on the defense. That allows me to spend on the offensive line. That allows me to spend at the running back position so that I can build a tough, physical, hard-nosed football team, and then I can just find a guy to put at quarterback. That's his mentality. That's what he did in San Francisco. It worked. That's what he did in Seattle. It worked. So in his mind, I have a model that works. So why don't I duplicate that here? Problem is, we don't have any defensive talent. We don't have an offensive line that run blocks very well, and we don't have the running back. So all of the things that he wants to do, he can't do right now. And right now, Kirk Cousins' impending contract is looming over his head and holding up the process. Now, we got a chance to get started on this defense right now, this offseason, in free agency, if things go correctly. But that's the thought. If you want into the mind and the inner workings of Scott McCloughan, I just told you what he's thinking. Captain Spartan 04 says, this is a terrible defensive line draft for your Redskins. It is, but we can handle that in free agency if they do it correctly. Captain Spartan 04 says, how's Terrence Garvin? He was solid for us on special teams. He was solid for us. Tom Moe says, I can see us getting Dante Hightower. I hope so. That's number one on my list. I'd love to get him and a defensive lineman, and I'm cool, man. I'm cool beans if we can get two of them. One defensive lineman and Dante Hightower. I don't give a damn which defensive lineman it is. Hell, we could sign Big Swaggy back for all I care. Speaking of which, Vernon Davis, Pierre Garçon, Chris Baker, and Kirk Cousins are all Redskins that I think need to be re-signed. But we'll see what happens. Redskins Review says, I want Poe. I think he's the best free agent for our situation. I would take Dante Hightower first, and then I would take Dontari Poe. But if we could get Poe and Hightower, or Hightower and then fill in the blank defensive lineman, Allen Branch, Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams, doesn't make me any bit of difference. Would love it. Captain Spartan says, Adrian Peterson to watch the Redskin? Negative. Does nothing for us. Tomo says, Breland sucks. Release him. I think Bree still can play some ball, man. I would hate to see him go somewhere else and flourish. I just think it was a confidence issue with him this year. He went from being the guy to then all of a sudden Josh Norman just showing up one day, and no longer was he the guy in DC, and I think he lost confidence. And I think if we get a good safety tandem back there, I think Bree will be all right. I really do. Boba Sis says, give me Poe, Hankins, Hightower, Cyprian, bring back Garçon and D-Jax, please. Get Jamal Charles to improve our run game, and I'm with you on Zeitler. He's a beast. You're asking for a lot there, Bo. You went in and you filled up the shopping cart, okay? We ain't got enough room in the shopping cart for all that stuff now. I like Poe. I like Jonathan Hankins a lot as well. I wouldn't mind sniffing around Mr. Hankins. Hightower, definitely want him. Cyprian, I'm lukewarm on Jonathan Cyprian. Bring back Garçon and D-Jax. I think it's one or the other, and I think we all know which one they would prefer. Jamal Charles, I think he is a shell of himself. Those injuries, they take a toll. And Zeitler would be nice, but again, I don't think we're going to be willing to spend the amount of money it's going to take to bring him in here, especially being that we need more help on defense than we do offense. But we'll see what happens. H.H. Augie says, hey, sorry if you already talked about it, but I just got here. What do you think will happen if we do decide to trade Kirk to the 49ers for the second overall pick? If the Redskins went all the way up to 2, it's one of two options that would take place. You would either then take that second pick and select Jonathan Allen, defensive lineman out of, and again, this is assuming that we don't handle this in free agency. If you handle this in free agency, then you can maybe go after the safety position. Say you don't go after safety and you don't get a Tony Jefferson, then you could get one of the safeties in this draft, in Malik Hooker or Adams. out of LSU. So, then you're looking at a situation where you've really fixed the defense. All right. But then you could also look at that number 2 overall selection, dangle it out there to some teams that might want to come up and take an Allen or a Hooker or an Adams. And you say, okay, we move back to 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. You still get a really good football player, a blue chipper, and you're going to pick up a ton of picks. So options galore. And obviously, if we traded Kirk, it wouldn't just be for that second overall pick. 49ers would be giving up something else, whether it's a 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever, in addition to the pick. It would be interesting to see what would occur and what it would take. Like I said, I think the Redskins have already said that they need to be blown away by a deal in order to trade Kirk. So 1 first-round pick wouldn't be suffice. It would have to be more than 1 to get that done. So we'll see what would happen and what it would take for that to happen. Andrew Kim says, could the Redskins surprise us again in the draft and go wide receiver if Garcon and Jackson are gone? Also, will there be another vid out, or is that tomorrow? I'll probably do another video tomorrow in addition to the Combine video. We'll see what happens. But I can't see the Redskins going receiver again. I can't. We still have Ryan Grant on the roster. They like the kid out of Cal from last year, the big kid, Maurice Harris. There's no way they take another receiver. You still got our first round pick from last year, Josh Doxson on ice. JC Ice is still around. I can't see him doing that. My man Reese says, sup, Lou? Welcome back. Wasn't the same without you, bro. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you checking in on me as well. Reese says, if Kirk leaves, I could see Longneck going over there. I'd love to give Longneck a chance. I've always been a Mike Glennon fan. I just thought he got a raw deal in Tampa, but he's going to want an opportunity somewhere where there's no drama. And if he comes to DC, there'll be a lot of expectations placed on him, and there'll be a lot of drama. I just don't know if a guy that has been in the league as long as he has, but hasn't started has started as little as he has, would want to come into a situation like this. So, but I'd love to give. If Kirk left, that would be the one guy in the league right now. A lot of people like AJ McCarron. I think AJ's cool, but I like Longneck better than I do AJ McCarron. So, for whatever it's worth. James McMillan III says, what do you think if we go after Tony Jefferson and Hightower and then we draft I would love it. Give me Jefferson, Hightower, and draft Dalvin Cook. And then hopefully somewhere along the line, because we still need defensive line help. We still need to get after the quarterback with a pass rusher. But that'd be a hell of an offseason. I'll tell you that much. I'd love that. Rarely Even says, how much would you love seeing Adrian Peterson in burgundy and gold? I wouldn't. 31-year-old Adrian Peterson doesn't appeal to me. And I think he can still play. But we saw last year what happens when he's behind a shoddy offensive line. And our offensive line isn't shoddy. It just isn't great at run blocking. So, Adrian Peterson behind a suspect offensive line, I don't know. And I think our offensive line can be better at run blocking. I really think we have the guys necessary to be better. They just weren't better. So, we'll see. But I don't want what it's going to take to get Adrian Peterson. And he doesn't want to come here anyway. Let's be honest. Andrew Kim says, right now I have Malik McDowell pegged out there in D.C. Depends on free agency. They could go linebacker like Cunningham or safety. I don't like to make projections right now because free agency is going to change everything. Until free agency takes place, it's impossible to know what teams are going to do. Because free agency is going to dictate what you need in the draft and what you have to get, and what you should be looking for and what holes you have on your roster. So I'm going to be a little hesitant to do that. My man Reese says, Lou, have you clarified when the draft prospects one-on-one series starts? I have. I did a video earlier. Go check that out. But I ain't gonna even do you like that because you a OG. Tuesday. It starts on Tuesday. So there's that. Jets Football Talk Network says, do you think Kirk could be going to my Jets? It's possible. I think Kirk's open to going. I know a lot of the reports have said Kirk was only open to going to the 49ers. I think that's hogwash. I think Kirk would be open to going just about anywhere that would pay him the money he's looking for. Now, he would like to work with specific guys. If he had his choice, he'd love to go to San Francisco or L.A. because he knows those coaches and he knows that they believe in him and they trust him. And that's what he's looking for. But if the Jets said, hey, Kirk, we want to pay you $130 million and 80 of it guaranteed, Kirk would say, all right, where do I sign? He'd sign up for that. So, but there's no way the Jets are going to do that because bottom line is the Jets have 1,872 quarterbacks on the roster. There's no way they would be willing to go get Kirk Cousins. And none of them are making, top dollar. It's not like they're paying someone a major contract there. Most of those guys are young. Geno Smith's contract expired. Ryan Fitzpatrick is gone. You're just dealing with a bunch of young guys, Bryce Petty and Christian Hackenberg. But still, I just don't see them doing that. But anything's possible. Rarely Even says, why hasn't Breland gotten a look at safety? He has the size and the willingness to do so. They actually asked Breland to play safety last year, and he told them no. That just goes to show you how soft our coaching staff was, which is why they fired our secondary coach, Pierre. He went up to Breland and said, hey, man, would you mind playing safety? He said, no, I'm not playing safety. Yeah, I would mind. He said, okay. That's cool. I didn't mind it. Either way, I just wanted to ask. Get some balls. Tell that man what he playing. Don't ask him, tell him. Soft. Rarely Even says, Mike Glennon is going to demand 15 to 16 mil a year. The hell would someone be that foolish? Because he's a quarterback, and this league is quarterback dependent. That's why. The allure and the thought of a guy coming in and being the next Trent Green or the next Kurt Warner, there's that allure out there. Someone's going to get lucky. Why can't it be us? That's what teams out there are thinking. The Browns are like, why can't we get lucky? The Jets are like, why can't we get lucky? 49ers, why can't we get lucky? Okay? Teams are out there like, why can't it be us? Why can't we strike it rich with a guy that's been in the league, knows what it takes, and just needs an opportunity? Maybe. Maybe not. I'm going to find out. Dre the Great says, I think the Redskins should get Zach Brown and Calais Campbell to help the run defense and add versatility. Zach Brown would be on that second, third tier-ish level. I'm looking elite. But Calais Campbell definitely on my short list of guys that I want. Absolutely. Burgundy Fly Guy says, this Kirk Cousins talk is not what worries me. I'm worried about the owner and president pushing out the best talent evaluator this team has seen at the GM spot in 20 years. He could be pushing himself out. I want to know what the hell is going on. We're in the dark right now. Something's going on. He does not have a great track record. So I can't give him the benefit of the doubt. So I don't want to put this on our guys this time. I just want to wait to see what's going on first. Corey Fitterman says, don't forget Benny Logan from Philly. He's a free agent D-tackle we can use. And I heard that we were actually very intrigued by Benny Logan as well. So I look at Benny as more of a 5-tech. I don't know if he's actually a true nose. We need a true nose. A guy that's going to hold the point of attack. If you got to eat a double team, can do so. I don't see Benny Logan. I see him being a 5-tech, but we can definitely use Benny Logan, no doubt. Andre P. Musgrove says, FedEx is where AP tore his ACL. Why would he want to play on that shitty-ass surface for 8 games a year, LOL? I don't know why he would want to do that. He's not coming to D.C. anyway, man. Rarely Even says, Kirk can come to Tampa. He could be Jameis's backup and pay for doing us the way he did the last time we played. Damn, I still hate Jordan Reed. You're right, Ree. He's not going to be anybody's backup. He's done with that. HTTR to the fullest says, if Garcon leaves, do you think the Redskins pick up Brandon Marshall? Brandon Marshall said that New York was going to be his last destination. I'll see if he sticks to that. I'm good. I'm gonna pass on Brandon Marshall. He's working. He's already segueing and transitioning into television. He did the whole inside the NFL thing last year. I'm good, man. I'm gonna pass on Brandon Marshall. Jets Football Talk Network says, can you check out my channel and shout me out? Ain't no doubt, man. Y'all go and check out Jets Football Talk Network when you get a chance. See what this guy's out there doing, and if he's doing good work, sub him up, man. Give that man some love and support him. And no doubt, man, I'll check your work out. When I get a chance, I will definitely check your channel out, man. Redskins Review says, say we trade Kirk, yet keep Garcon and D-Jax. How many games you think we win with Colt? 7 is the max you get out of Colt. 7. Can't see us winning any more than that with Colt. I think he's a 6-10, 7-9 quarterback at best, even with all the weapons we got. This is the crazy part about what everybody is forgetting about Kirk Cousins is he threw for damn near 5,000 yards. Yes, we got weapons. Yes, he was protected very well. We had no run game, and the defense was horrid. Now put that on Colt McCoy and see if you get the same numbers out of him. Because I'm telling you right now, you're not. You're just not. Jets Football Talk Network says, what do you think about Romo? I'm going to do another show on that hopefully tomorrow. I can't make any promises, but we'll talk about all of that stuff. I got a myriad of things that I want to get to that I haven't had a chance to talk about. Corey Fitterman says, word on the street is his grandma passed away a week ago and he's handling those. I hope that's the case. First of all, you never hope anyone passes away. You don't want anyone grief stricken or you don't want to, but I just hope it's something that is actually a family matter and it's not something in a sense where he's spiraling out of control again. Like I said, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give our organization the benefit of the doubt, and I'm just going to sit back and wait. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to listen to any rumors. I'm just going to sit back and wait and see what happens. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Ree says, do you think D-Jax can still play Lou? Apparently Jameis is lobbying. Yes, D-Jax has a lot of gas left in that tank. He can still go with the best of them. Jets Football Talk Network says, thanks for the shout out. No doubt, man. No doubt. Again, if you guys are out there, check out Jets Football Talk Network, man. Give that man a look, see. And if he's doing some human-like work over there, sub him up, man. It's all about love up here. Andre P. Musgrove says, D-Hall is gone, ain't he? I would assume so. I think they're going to give him a chance to come back, but at this point, what are we doing here? What are we doing? HTTR to the fullest says, Redskins also get a left guard in free agency. We'll see. We'll see. So, that's it. That's all the comments I have. Thank you guys for joining me, man. There's a lot going on in Washington right now. But we're going to chronicle it. I'm going to keep you guys abreast of the situation. I'm back. And so we're going to jump into this thing, and hopefully the Redskins find a way to strike a deal with Kirk Cousins. I don't see it. Jay Gruden is like trying to say all the right things. It's not happening. I just don't see it. And look, the negotiations started the way that I expected it to start. Redskins lowballed him. His offer, his agent laughed at it. Kirk laughed at it. Okay, you go back to the table, and now you try to get closer, and then hopefully before July, 15th, they're able to come to some type of agreement on a deal. If not, and Kirk plays under this franchise tag, he's gone. He's not coming back. I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. Redskins spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to my beloved Redskins. Feels good to be back. We got a lot to discuss. That was a good show. That felt great. Hopefully we'll have more answers. Free agency is right around the corner. I'm going to break down the combine starting tomorrow through Monday. Then we'll jump into the Draft Prospects 101 series. And we'll still be talking Redskins football all the while all of this is going on. In addition to free agency, which is on the horizon. The new league year has started, and it started with a bang. I'm your man, Louie T. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. And if you haven't done so, I got an Instagram account now. I'm on IG. It's me, Louie T, is my handle. Go ahead and give me a follow on IG or whatever the hell it's called. It's is with a Z. ITZ, me, Louie T. It's me, Louie T, on Instagram. I just started it up, so I'm starting to get that ball rolling. I'm going to try to do some personal things. So if you want to get to know me a little bit outside of this, that'll be the account to do that on. So if you got an IG, hit your man Louie T up. If you haven't already done so, what are you waiting on? Twitter, @InTheLabRoom. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Facebook, In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead and like that page. And of course, my YouTube channel, Louie T Network. You haven't done so, come on, man. Why are we having this discussion? Subscribe. Until next time, I'm out.